Deep within the misty mountains of the Philippines, where clouds drift lazily over ancient peaks, and the air is thick with legend, a tradition as old as the land itself continues to thrive. Batok, the ancient art of hand-tapped tattooing. In these remote highlands, time seems to slow, and the echoes of the past are felt in every stone and stream. For over 1,000 years, the Kalinga people have used Batok to tell their stories, mark achievements, and connect with the spiritual world. Each tattoo is more than just ink on skin. It is a living record of bravery, kinship, and identity, passed down from generation to generation. Through Batok, the Kalinga have preserved their history, their values, and their sense of belonging. When the Spanish arrived on Philippine shores centuries ago, they were astonished by the sight of the tattooed locals. They called them Los Pintados, the painted ones, marveling at the intricate patterns that adorned their bodies. These designs were unlike anything the outsiders had ever seen, a testament to the artistry and resilience of the indigenous people. Every line and symbol held meaning: a warrior's badge of honor earned in battle, a woman's mark of coming of age, a sacred connection to the land and to ancestors long gone. The tattoos were not chosen lightly. Each one was a rite of passage, a story etched in flesh that spoke of courage, endurance, and the unbreakable bond between people and place. These tattoos were living history, a visual language of who they were and where they belonged. To wear Batok was to carry the legacy of one's ancestors, to be recognized and respected within the community. The elders, their skin marked by decades of stories, became living archives of Kalinga heritage. Batok was believed to be the only thing one could take into the afterlife, guiding souls home. The tattoos served as spiritual maps, ensuring that the departed would find their way back to their ancestors, carrying with them the symbols of their life's journey and achievements. After years of fading into obscurity, as modernity swept through the mountains and traditions were threatened, Batok is now experiencing a strong and passionate comeback. Today, it is celebrated as a vital part of Filipino heritage, a source of pride and identity for both the Kalinga and the wider nation. Young people are once again seeking out the wisdom of the elders, eager to reclaim their roots. People now travel from distant cities and even other countries to the highlands, not just for a tattoo, but for a connection to something ancient and deeply human. The journey itself becomes a pilgrimage, a search for meaning, authenticity, and a sense of belonging in a rapidly changing world. The rhythmic tap of the Mamba Batok's tools echoes once more through the mountains, a sound of strength, resilience, and cultural pride. In every beat, the spirit of the Kalinga endures, reminding us that some traditions are too powerful to fade away. In Kalinga culture, tattoos are more than just marks. They are living statements of identity, heritage, and the enduring spirit of a people. Each line and pattern etched into the skin carries a story, a memory, and a connection to the ancestors who came before. For men, tattoos like the biking were not simply decorations, but honors earned through acts of bravery in battle or defense of the community. Every intricate pattern is a record of courage, a visible testament to a man's valor and his place within the tribe. For women, tattoos held a different but equally profound meaning. They marked beauty, fertility, and the transition into adulthood, believed to offer spiritual protection and blessings. The designs are inspired by the world around them: centipedes for protection, rice terraces for abundance, pythons for strength, and eagles as messengers between the earth and the spirit world. Each motif is chosen with intention, reflecting the hopes, dreams, and values of the wearer. The process of choosing a symbol is deeply personal, with each design mapping a unique journey onto the skin. The tattoo artist, or Mambabatok, acts as both creator and storyteller, ensuring that every mark is meaningful. The act of tattooing itself is sacred, a ceremony that connects the physical and spiritual worlds. It is believed that these tattoos light the soul's path to the afterlife, guiding spirits safely to their ancestors. Without these sacred markings, it was feared that a soul might wander, lost and unable to find its way home. Batok is not just ink on skin, it is a living record of a person's story, strength, and eternal soul, made visible for all to see and remember. This ancient art form is living proof of the Kalinga's deep connection to their land, their ancestors, and the traditions that continue to shape their identity. Through Batok, the stories of who you are and your spirituality are forever woven together, passed down from generation to generation, a legacy written on the skin and carried in the soul. The creation of a Batok tattoo is a ritual unchanged for centuries, passed down through generations in the highlands of the Philippines. This ancient practice is not just about body art, it is a living tradition, a way of preserving stories, values, and identity through the skin. The tools are simple, yet deeply meaningful. A sharp thorn, carefully chosen from a native tree, is attached to a slender piece of bamboo. These humble instruments, shaped by hand, connect the present to the past. The ink is made from soot and water, a mixture that is both elemental and symbolic. The blackness of the soot represents resilience and the enduring spirit of the people. The artist dips the thorn into the ink, preparing for the first mark, a moment filled with anticipation and respect. Then, with practiced hands, the Mambabatok rhythmically taps the thorn into the skin using the bamboo stick. Each tap is a careful act, guided by tradition and skill. The sound is mesmerizing, a steady hypnotic beat that echoes through the air, marking the passage of time and the creation of heritage. It is a sound that has resonated in villages for generations. The process is slow and undeniably painful. Each tap sends a sharp sting through the skin, but the pain is not just endured, it is embraced. It becomes a rite of passage, a test of endurance and commitment to one's roots. The person receiving the tattoo must remain perfectly still, breathing deeply through the discomfort. In this moment, they become a partner in their own transformation, forging a new connection to their ancestors. The Mambabatok works with unwavering focus, channeling culture, spirit, and the wisdom of elders into every mark. Each design is chosen with care, carrying meaning unique to the wearer. This is more than tattooing. It is a sacred exchange of trust, tradition, and respect. The ritual binds artist and recipient in a moment of shared purpose. The hand-tapped method connects the wearer to the land, to their ancestors, and to the community. It is a living link to a heritage that endures despite the passage of time. Each tattoo is a ceremony, a living bond between artist, recipient, and heritage. Families gather, stories are shared, and the act becomes a celebration of identity. Batok is more than ink on skin. It is who you are, pain, pride, and belonging, etched forever as a testament to the enduring spirit of a people. In the remote village of Buskalan lives Apo Wang Od, the world's oldest living Mambabatok. Over 100 years old, she learned the art from her father and became the last guardian of a fading tradition. Her fame grew after a 2009 documentary, drawing visitors from around the world to her mountain home. In 2023, she was on the cover of Vogue Philippines, becoming a global symbol of strength and heritage. Today, Wang Od mainly tattoos her signature 3 dots, representing herself and her grandnieces, Grace and Elyang. Receiving these dots is a great honor, a blessing and a link to her legacy. Her apprentices now handle complex designs, but Wang Od remains the heart of Buskalan's cultural comeback. She is the living bridge between past and future, a true guardian of the mountains. Through her, the spirit of Batok continues. There was a time when the sound of Batok was common in Kalinga, but outside influences caused it to decline. Spanish and American missionaries said tattooing was wrong, lessening its cultural importance. As Christianity spread, tattoos were seen in a bad light, viewed as marks of shame rather than pride. The end of tribal fighting meant fewer warriors to earn tattoos, and the tradition faded. The last tattooed elders grew old, their stories almost lost. In cities, tattoos became linked with criminals, further separating modern Filipinos from their roots. Batok survived only in remote villages, practiced by a few elders like Wang Od. For years, it seemed meant to disappear, a quiet end to a 1,000-year-old story. The journey to Buskalan is a true pilgrimage, long, challenging, and deeply rewarding. Travelers endure hours of winding roads and a steep mountain hike to reach the village. The reward breathtaking rice terraces and a community where tradition thrives. For many, especially those from the Filipino community living abroad, the experience is emotional, a homecoming to lost heritage. They seek more than a tattoo, they seek connection to their roots. Being tattooed by Wang Od or her apprentices is to receive living history. The ritual is a moment of deep connection, joining a line of ancestors. Visitors leave with more than ink. they carry a story, a memory, and a renewed sense of who they are. The journey becomes a way to describe rediscovering oneself. In Boscawen, heritage is not just remembered, it is lived. The fame of Apo Wangod and Batok has changed Boscawen. Tourism has brought good things. Families can now afford education, better homes, and healthcare. The village is doing well, with homestays and local guides supporting the new economy. Yet this success brings challenges: managing trash, water shortages, and pressure on resources. The community must balance money-making opportunities with protecting the environment. The biggest challenge is keeping the sacred meaning of Batok alive while it becomes more commercial. Elders try to teach visitors, making sure they respect the tradition. The risk Batok becoming just a business deal, losing its spiritual importance. Boscawen's job is to share its culture while keeping its soul intact. The future depends on honoring both heritage and change. The future of Batok depends on passing the tradition to new hands. Fearing the art would die with her, Wang Od broke tradition and trained her grandnieces, Grace and Elyang. Their training began with banana leaves, then their own skin, learning both how to do it and its meaning. Now skilled artists, they connect the old and new, sharing the tradition with people all over the world. They are not just tattoo artists, but cultural representatives and teachers. The comeback has spread beyond Boscawen. Filipino artists worldwide are learning hand tapping, reconnecting communities living abroad with their roots. The three-dot signature Wang Od gives is a symbol. The story is not over. Through Grace and Elyang, the tradition is alive and changing. Batok's legacy is now in the hands of the future. The rhythm of the thorn continues, echoing for generations to come. Batok's story is one of strength, surviving being put down to shine on the world stage. Its comeback is a reclaiming of Filipino identity and pride, connecting people to their past and each other. In a fast-paced world, a Batok tattoo is a lasting anchor to heritage. For Filipinos, it is a way to wear history and honor ancestors. Visitors must approach with respect. This is sacred, not just a trend. Supporting Boscawen means traveling carefully and showing true appreciation. The sound of tapping is now a strong rhythm of the present and future. The story continues. Batok endures as a living legacy of strength, spirit, and culture.